Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Aces as well.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I tell you what.
We're not ace discriminatory.
The single greatest podcast is back. It's Lace Out. It's Peps and J-Dog. It's your Tuesday night. It's what you look forward to. It's better than ice cream and apple pie. Father's Day was pretty good, but I tell you what, what's just happened in the last 5 minutes has sent shockwaves through the AFL community. We had our show prepared, ready to go. J-Dog, I know we just sat here watching the last 5 minutes of the Adelaide versus GWS game. And I tell you what, if you are not excited by what just happened, nothing will. Because for the people that don't know that, Adelaide have just beaten GWS at home to send the finals for 2020 out of control. Jamie, welcome you to the show, mate. Welcome you.
Thank you.
Is that all you've got to say after what we've just seen, what we have just gone through? Hot off the press, the Crows keep Melbourne's finals hope alive.
Well, the GWS just, we've spoken about it lots of times. I'm not going to go there just yet, Peps, because we have got a massive show with so many different topics to talk about. I mean, we're doing our rundown. We've got our Google Doc here that we keep live. It's across multiple pages.
We've had to go double deep. We've even got some increased sound effects for tonight's show. Let's just say we have not pirated as much audio in any episode ever for the entire year as we have tonight.
And Peps, women say that length doesn't matter, but let me tell you, our show has got some length.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ben-Hur is classified as one of the greatest films and one of the longest films ever. This could be the single biggest episode of Lace Out ever. And I tell you what, for everybody getting on the chat tonight, be part of it, because without you, we don't have a show. We do this for you every single week. So I'm just gonna get balls deep into this one, mate.
All right.
The Crows have beaten GWS.
Yep.
This just sets the finals, the final eight. I thought after tonight would have been set.
Mm-hmm. But
what's just happened has just turned it completely on its head. Let me just put this in perspective for you. So with two rounds to go, St Kilda sit at 36 points.
Hang on.
Collingwood.
Whoa. Hang on. Do I have to get my pen out and start writing on my post-it notes?
No stats.
I'll just back and drink then. Cheers, everyone.
Just drink, all right? Collingwood are on 34. GWS, after their loss tonight, would have jumped virtually in the sixth spot, even fifth spot. They've completely stuffed that up completely. Mm-hmm. The Bulldogs are on 32 and the D's are on 28. Now, a week is a long time in footy, and we're going to get into that. But after what GWS have done, they have set the last couple of rounds alight. Yeah. Adelaide Crows, pat on the back. I was just tuning into the game throughout, and it was sensational to see what they happened. You know, this is a fantastic comment. It's just come from Buzz. I know Buzz well. Buzz, superstar. He loves his Saints. GWS overrated. It's coming. Not go the Crows. We're getting dogs are in. People can't wait to see the D's can still make it. The D's have no hope. It's all over the place, mate.
Peps,
this is going to be massive. Oh, I'm excited.
People are on the chat here to just see you lose it. This chat already for one of our Tuesday night shows deep in the season. People are here to see you lose it. So you better step up to the plate tonight, because
mate,
last night I was thinking about you.
A lot of people were thinking about me.
Well, you know what?
Where do we start, mate? Where do we start, Jamie? Set us off, mate. Set us off with the news of the round.
Well, like all good TV shows, we're going to keep you to the end, because let's just talk about it. We know that you are the main meal for tonight. We know that you're going to have your opinions. You're on the straights again, so that means you're a bit looser. I'm on the old dries because, low carb #life, whatever.
I'm on zero cokes.
All right, so let's just start from see, I've got the sensor lights in my house and they just annoy. Hang on. There we go. All right.
Oh, I'm firing up tonight, fellas. I'm firing up tonight.
All right, let's start from the top. Number one, let's talk about something that's controversial, because your team has gone through it a little bit.
Yep.
And my team have been accused of it as well. Let's start at the team that you hate the most. Let's start with Essendon. So the story here...
The Essendon Bombers. Hold on. You keep talking and I'm just going to... I'll just go tune something up for this particular part.
No worries. So the thing here is,
Is it a bit of this? Is it a bit of this? One more time for the people at home. Oh,
obviously, the Essendon have come in a bit of fire this week because it was seen that their players were taking having a bit of a laugh, taking the P155 at halftime, having a bit of a laugh, and they were 60 points down in a game where they really should have been taking it quite seriously, considering that finals are still mathematically on the line for them, and here they are on the ground laughing, giving up the most putrid first half performance you've ever seen. What do you think, Peps? What's your lens on it?
Oh, shit, man. What made me laugh? Everybody getting stuck into Essendon for their laughter at halftime. I don't think they should have been laughing at what they did at halftime, thinking that was a disgrace. What they produced in that first half of footy was twice as bad.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, they are shocking. And yet the funny thing is that they've got a coach who's coming in, Ben Rutten. One of my mates said it perfectly. Could he be the first coach to actually get sacked before even coaching a game? I don't think even Melbourne would take him at the moment.
It's concerning, isn't it?
Oh, they are shocking.
Yeah,
they are shocking. I reckon I had a look on Facebook today, and it was going absolute. I reckon I saw 5,848 different comments on the number of times that they were laughing. It was out of control.
Slight veiled dig there.
Oh, slight veiled dig. And by the way, just yes, Timmy Madigan, one of our fantastic loyal viewers, has come with a bit of ex-Essendon players are hammering their old club. Like I said, I think it was about 5,848 comments that I read there, Timmy, a.k.a. Merv, which coincidentally, Jamie, is the same amount of days since Essendon last won a final.
Oh, I would have thought.
Who would have thought that one? But everybody's been... Lloydie had a passionate crack at them. They don't stand for anything. They're just woeful. They don't have a brand of football. They are... Melbourne are shit.
Mm-hmm.
They are worse.
Yep.
Because they are just... They don't stand for anything. Meaning that they'll just fall for anything.
Yep, but it's good here. We've got Thorno in the chat, Brenton Thornton on the chat. He says he likes the game was gone and it's a bit of an overreaction.
Mate, they had no reason to be laughing whatsoever. Look, and it is a snapshot. I get it, but mate, I wouldn't be worrying about a bit of laughter. What they're doing on the field has been putrid.
That was
and you know what? It makes it even worse. The poor young bloke, Mosquito, who's probably their only firecracker besides McDonald, Tip and Woody, goes down with a knee injury. He's ACL. Bang, he's gone for the season next year.
Yep.
You know, you don't want to see those things for young players. But
no.
it's not good, mate. It's not good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Oh, where do we go next?
We're going fast because we have to go fast.
We've got packed tight tonight, mate. Packed tight.
Do you want to talk about Richmond?
Oh, Richmond.
Now, you had a thing for this.
Well, I have kebabs, punch-ons and pole dancing. Richmond's COVID disaster strikes again. Jesus. What so they want to steal the limelight, not just on the field, but off the field as well. What were these two guys thinking? Hey, you know what? We're locked down. It's been really tough. We're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you know what? I need to get a bit of lappy. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to get myself a late night lamb sandwich. Go and get a bit of pole action. Get a bit of a fisticuff. And you know what? No one will know a thing.
Is pole action double entendre? Is that...
Oh, I don't know. It was just like, seriously, what were these two blokes thinking?
I don't know. This is what's puzzling me. They've already had a notification. What's the right word, Peps? A talking to about their situation in COVID and keeping within their bubble with Trent Cotchin's wife. And we know the story.
They have to keep in the bubble with Trent Cotchin's wife. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying.
Not literally keep them together. Just literally okay.
In the Richmond bubble. Now, that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago now. Then these two dickheads go out there. I mean, I don't know. It sounds harsh, but I don't know if the fine and all of that really is big enough. Am I being too harsh, Peps?
Nah.
Am I being tall poppy syndrome because they are a successful club that they should probably, cop a bit harder? But 100K and then the players getting fined. Should they be sent? They should be sent home. Fair enough. They've done that.
But no, I agree with it. I agree with everything.
Okay.
How many warnings do you have to have? Like, this was coming.
Yep.
But once again, let's be Franklin. There are a couple of Franklins, mate. No name brand. Sydney Stack. He's done nothing except take out, Jack Viney in a game last year. And the hyphen Callum Jones, whoever he is, never heard of him, right?
Yeah.
They're no name brands. I want to see it when something happens. Like I said, Buckley should have been booted, but they were never going to boot him.
Yeah.
What he did was worse. He brought someone in. They went out.
Yeah.
All right. Understandably. That's just putrid. And I think the AFL have just hit the low hanging fruit here. But it is a bit of tall poppy because Richmond have beat. How many times do you have to find a mob, mate?
I don't understand that these two young blokes in a let's say their playing group up there and staff and all that related is probably around 40 people. No one thought I need to have a word with these people, or they didn't say anything to any of their mates saying I'm going to go out tonight. Like, how did this situation end up unfolding? I don't get it.
Oh, look, this just sums it up. How, like, I love our viewers, right? But this is just read this and tell me what the irony in the comment is. Okay, so Buzz, you're a bit harsh on the Richmond players. They bumped into a drunk dickhead. Buzz, what the hell were they doing out at 3 a.m. at Pole Divas or whatever the joint was
Hollywood
Divas? Is that right?
No, it's just called Hollywood, I think.
I think you had your bucks there. And getting late night lamb sandwiches out of the COVID lockdown area. Now, come on, mate. I know you're a smart bloke, but that's just a bit silly if you look at it. You know what? They knew they just didn't think they'd get caught. It's as simple as that. We're going to nick out. We're going to have a bit of a lappy. We're going to have a chicken with garlic sauce. We'll sneak back in. No one will be the wiser.
Can Ubers just rock up to the front of these so-called secured AFL places?
Well, apparently, if anyone can fly into the joint after you hear who's been pulling into the COVID hub over the last couple of days, anyone can fly into the joint. Did
the Uber just pull up to the front gates and welcome them in? Like, how do they call an Uber to get into the security, to get into this team? How did they? It's mind-blowing how dumb they are.
Oh, I just think that they pulled a bit of, do you know who I am? And reception went, actually, I don't. We haven't got a clue who you two are. Oh, hold on. This is my highlights.
So then here's the next one here, Pep. So what happens is 100K is going to be taken out of the Richmond soft cap. So that's not the players' cap. That's the admin football side of it. So someone next year's lost a job because of those two dickheads.
Yep.
Then Stack's manager goes on radio and says that Sydney Stack 37.5K that they're both going to. What are you doing with the settings?
I don't know.
Stop clicking shit. Stop clicking shit.
I'm just playing. I was trying to put the focus on you, son.
So what? This is bigger than just. This is so stupid. I'm so disappointed at Richmond have done this. It could compromise the competition. What if they come back or they're sick or something like that? Like, it's those what ifs.
I just think it's stupid. And one of the people on the chat has written a great comment. Funny enough, it's Buzz again. He said, "Look, it's living. That's what they're doing." The thing is, Buzz, mate, and this is what I don't think people understand. They cannot be what they are doing. They cannot do what they want to do right now. They have to pull their heads in because it's not just the Queensland government could just boot them out at any time. Now, they've got the grand final, so they're not going to do it. But they could literally go, you know what? You're not living up to our rules. Just go. And I think that's the thing that they realise, that they are in such a fortunate position, not just being footballers, but as an industry, and to just do something stupid. I know. Look, I can't imagine what they're going through, having to be away from family and friends at a resort with everything catered for. with your mates,
Unlimited
playing
Daytona.
footy with unlimited Daytona and FIFA 20, having to sit at the pool with the wags in their G-bangers at happy hour. I can only empathise what they're going through right now. And it's got to be tough. That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, what do you think? We're at the tail of the season, so I don't think there's going to be any more cases like this. But this finding of the Richmond club and their soft cap, that needs to change. That should come back onto their hard cap, onto their players' cap, not on the admin side.
Look, they know what the rules are.
Yep.
Move on.
Okay.
I just think it's, once again, you're putting it onto two players who probably can't afford it. They're not on super cash.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the fine that Richmond were fined, $100K. That should come out of their players' caps.
Yeah.
Not out of their overall player cap.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Maybe not. All right.
All right, next one.
Let's get off the kebabs. What's next, mate?
We're going to speak about Elijah Taylor. Now, just very briefly, we got to talk about it because that's what we do. We talk about news.
Yeah, we spoke about it last week quite briefly, but since then, and mind you, we did give Elijah and his girlfriend at the time votes to get onto the Australian Olympic team, especially her for either a hurdling or a pole vaulting gig because of the way that she was able to clear 2 fences and sprint via the par 3 on the golf course. I thought that was amazing.
Correct. Yep. So obviously, over the weekend, the story sort of broke, and most of us have probably seen the social media images. Allegedly, he was violent towards his ex-girlfriend. That girlfriend he had seen in Perth is now his ex-girlfriend. So I suppose it's bigger than footy. It's a young man going through it, and let's just leave the people who are paid to find out the facts to do their job, and let's not speculate much on this tonight. But
yeah, it's all fake news, mate. If Trump was here, it'd be fake news. Yeah, it's a bit of fake news with that. Look, just unfortunately, like I've said it before, there was more media accredited people than footballers last year. So anybody can get a football accreditation, except the two of us. We applied to the AFL listeners at the start of this year to try and get AFL accreditation, and they knocked us back. Really? I can't understand why.
No, right. I can't get it. What's the next thing that you want to go through on the news, making the news?
You know what? I want to spin the magnets, mate. I want to spin the magnets just to break it up a bit. So
let's do it.
Let's do this. So the first thing I want to do is I want to have a chat about who gets your
3 votes.
votes for this week.
My 3 votes for this week.
So your what?
3 votes.
My 3 votes this week is going to go to a bit of a theme for me tonight, actually. It's going to go to Patrick Dangerfield.
Ooh, danger.
Now, I'm not the biggest Patrick Dangerfield fan. Anyone who knows me knows that is absolutely true. And I've always had a sus attitude, I don't know what the right word is there, on his field kicking. I think he is fast, powerful, great inside mid. Love to have him on my team, but I've always been quite sus on his field and not the and in particular.
You just dropped out a bit there, mate.
The last
field kicking.
Field kicking, yes. So I was saying his field kicking was always a bit shit, but the last 5 or 6 games in particular, he has been one of the main reasons why Geelong have hit this absolute purple patch of form. He is hitting Tom Hawkins lace out every time. He's kicking to the forward structure amazingly well. He's kicking to space, and his players are just leading to it. I haven't seen him kick poorly for a long time now, and I think this week, after just seeing another amazing game by Geelong, he is going to get my 3 votes.
Well, I must admit, J-Dog, I've been one of those people who's been a little bit critical of Danger as well too. I think sometimes when I've watched him, he sprays it like a young man during his first time with the letters.
Like a young colt?
He was everywhere. Oh, he was everywhere all over the joint, right? But you're right. He's been playing some pretty good football over the last couple of weeks. And you're right. Your forwards are only going to go as well as the delivery.
Yep.
And their midfielders.
And the 6-6 helps, doesn't it?
Don't start. 6-6-6 is crap. All right? 666 sucks. All right, let's just skip that one. All right, don't throw any Super Burley 2000 out at me, my friend. All right, it just sucks. All right, but no, he's playing some good football, but he's got a lot of support around him. Mitch Duncan, Menegola.
Yeah, Menegola.
He is having a career season.
Yep, Guthrie's having a good season.
They're just doing what they have to do every single week, and I hate Geelong because they're just so consistently good.
Yep.
And we're just not, neither of the two. We're not consistent and we're not good, which makes it tough. All right. But would you like to know who I give my
3 votes?
So my 3 votes is going to, and I know there's going to be some people who listen to this podcast every single week who are going to love what I'm about to say. My 3 votes goes to a team, Eston Bulldogs. They were sensational against the Eagles last week. I did not pick them whatsoever. I thought the Eagles have got this one slotted in. And this is the difference between a team like the Western Bulldogs and other teams like Melbourne and GWS. Because when they had their season on the line, this was their exclamation point. This was the time for them to go ahead and make a massive difference, make an impact, make a statement. And they not only did that, they did that from being 4 goals down early on in the game. And they came back and they just inch by inch, kick by kick, possession by possession, and they were able to get in, and then they slotted it. The Bonts, that's the difference between the Bont and Cripps at the moment, because when the leaders need to come to the forefront, the Bont is doing exactly that and Cripps isn't.
Yep.
He was able to slot the last-minute goal. They were able to get across, and they've virtually locked themselves in with a finals position. There's other teams called Giants and Demons who had the similar type of experience, the similar type of game, and they weren't able to do it. So the Western Bulldogs, you get my
3 votes
for this week.
Yep. And you and I, pre-show, we were fighting over Western. Who gets this week's 3 votes?
But then you had to go Danger, which I can totally understand.
Yeah.
Clutch. The Bont was clutch. It was clutch. All right. Now, it's not just about getting the 3 votes as when we spin the magnets. We also want to know who's going to get dragged. But we couldn't just give the 3 votes a bit of love. We had to give a bit of drag. So we're going to go with Jamie. So, Jamie, you started off. Who do you think you're going to give a bit of this to?
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody Winkus piss.
That's such a great soundbite.
Ellingworth off, Healy off.
That is just an absolute classic. I'm going to give my drag this week. There we go. Sense of light. Come back on, you bastard. I'm going to give my drag to Hawthorn.
What? Hawks?
Yep.
Oh, maximising this screen. Tell me about it.
They were there. They were there and they cocked it up. They cocked it up big time. Once again, they're big name players.
Hey, you just dropped that in for a second. How did the Chad go? The Chad.
He played so well. Oh, so.
Jeez, we've lost you, Jamie. We've lost you. We've lost Jamie. We have lost Jamie. We'll get him back in a moment. So, well, we've actually lost him. Legitimately lost him. All right, so I'll get into mine. You're right there. We lost you for the moment there.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Haven't you paid your next monthly instalment for the build?
I don't know. Saying network connection 10 out of 10. What the hell's going on, Peps? You're the host of it.
Maybe I just booed you because your comments weren't strong enough.
Look, I just think that the Hawks really had an opportunity there to have a win, and I was probably also praying for a bit of a win because I wanted to see St Kilda lose. But they're going to get my drag because they've been so inconsistent. You've seen flashes of the brilliant Hawks, and you've seen a lot of the just dodgy Hawks come back. And they're my 3 votes this week because I don't want to talk. I could have said Essendon, but that's too obvious.
We've got to change the subject every week, don't we? All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start,
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weakest piss.
I just love that every single time. All right. Someone's already picked it on the chat. Who's got to get dragged this week and could get permanently dragged is S. Goodwin.
I want to leave this runway clear for you. I didn't want to go near it.
Do not. Look, we'll get into Melbourne in a minute, right? I have been an advocate for this bloke since he got on board. I'm a massive advocate when it comes to coaches. This is my theory when it comes to coaches.
Okay.
Coaches coach like how they played. Okay. Lee Matthews, unrelenting. Okay. Alistair Clarkson, you wouldn't mess with him. Ken Hinkley, honourable, but a little bit, whifty at times.
Mm-hmm.
The Scott brothers, you don't stuff around with them. All right.
Yep.
Adam Simpson, reliable, just does what he has to do. Leon Cameron, lots of skill, but just didn't bring the milkshakes to the yard. Simon Goodwin played like a good bloke. He never really stood out when he played at Adelaide. He was just one of the team, but he was a reliable member of that team. The way that he is coaching Melbourne, and not just this year, but the last couple of years, has made me start to think that this guy has one plan and one plan only, will not take feedback on board, doesn't know what to do when teams get hold of them, a little bit of a deer in the headlights. He wants to be everybody's mate and is not willing to make the hard call on the hard players. It seems that, hey, buddy, we're mates, wants to be more of a mate than a coach, and doesn't have the ruthlessness or the unrelenting do or get out attitude that other coaches have in the league.
Okay.
And it has showed in the last couple of weeks, and it even showed tonight, when there are teams with less skill, less talent, and less ability are winning games when you have got a team with, let's just be honest, you're probably looking at there's 12 very, very good players in that team who are playing as individuals and not playing as a team. That all comes back to the coach, because they're the one who defines the brand. And at the moment, Simon Goodwin's brand is woeful.
Wow. So is this your tee off for the Melbourne game yet, or are we going to wait till
No,
the
we
end?
haven't even started about the Melbourne games.
All right, good. I'm glad. So is that your magnet spinning done, or are you
on the magnets? And if I could change the soundbite to, what's his name?
Ron Barassi?
Clarkson in. I'd do that. I'd do that. Yeah. Ridiculous. All right, mate.
I want next week as well, guy.
For which one?
The guy who said, "You go." Sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, I want you to spin. I want you to find the soundbite for the guy from the Adelaide guy. Is like, they were robbed in front of me.
Oh, that was Melbourne over the last two games. Right. Yeah, I'll see if I can find that one for you. All right. Okay. I want a quick, one thing that a new segment. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast, we have a brand new segment. Now, because we're getting into the impact section of the year, the MRP results are very, very important. So, without ado, we're going to introduce our new segment. And to do so, we need to bring in our local representative, Judge Jamie, the latest
Honourable.
the Honourable Judge Jamie. I told you, man. Nothing has been left off tonight's episode.
We are going for it. All right. So I want to just bring us all attention to the first case in tonight's courtroom. And that is a case of Zach Butters from Port Adelaide. Now, he has been charged with engaging in rough conduct against Jai Simpkin of North Melbourne. Now, based on the available evidence, the incident was assessed as a careless conduct, high impact, and high contact. The incident was classified as a 2-match sanction. And in summary, he can accept the 2-match sanction with an early plea, and Port Adelaide have decided to not contest this at the tribunal. So, let me just grab my hammer. Guilty. I need to get a wig. Number 2.
You'll get a yellow card. If you're going to have a go against my stats, is this going to be a weekly?
No, hang on. What I've got here. Now, I hope this guy's watching tonight. Josh Wayman, if you're watching, I'm just going to. This is going to be my new anvil. It's a cup that he got for me of me and Ollie wines together back in 2013. So here we go, getting that one there. All right. So my next hammer here. Braden Maynard of Collingwood has been charged with instigating a melee against Mitch Robertson of Brisbane Lions, and in summary, he can accept a $750 fine with an early plea. Guilty. Number 3. Braden Maynard has been charged with engaging in a melee, and in summary, he can accept a $500 sanction with an early plea. Guilty. Oh, shit, my screen's just bounced off. Jared Berry from the Brisbane Lions has been charged with engaging in a melee, and in summary, he can accept a $500 sanction with an early plea. Guilty. Jared Berry from Brisbane Lions has been charged with engaging in a melee, and in summary, he can accept a $500 sanction with an early plea. Guilty. Calamar Chi from Brisbane Lions has been charged with engaging in a melee, and in summary, he can accept a $500 sanction with an early plea. Guilty. And Hugh McCluggage from Brisbane Lions has been charged in engaging in a melee, and in summary, he can accept a $500 sanction with an early plea.
There's actually one more that you've forgotten. Quite recent as well, too. Another one that come out of the MRP, Simon Goodwin, Ben Rutten, and also Leon Cameron have been charged with impersonating an AFL coach. This will be directed straight to the tribunal, and hopefully we'll never have to deal with them ever again.
Judge Jamie, all guilty.
All guilty.
So basically, Braden Maynard has taken on a fifth of Brisbane Lions football team by himself. And I want to say, well done, Braden Maynard.
Oh, no.
You deserve it. That was great. That was great. That was good.
Hey, did you see his soft attempt
at
trying to be a tough guy?
No.
By smacking Mitch Robinson after the goal. If that was any other player, they would have got a free kick. How Robinson did not get a goal was a disgrace. And it just goes to show, it does. If you've got tats, forget about it. Unless you're dusty. The umpires even had the whistle. Watch the footage. He put the whistle to his mouth and still went, no. That's putrid. It is horse.
Sorry.
They would have put him on the goal line.
All the decisions in Jamie's court are now final and they are now closed. We're going to close today's court session off. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Peps. Thank you for being part of the...
Thank you very much, Judge Jamie. If you want to see that segment back again, viewers, leave a comment on our Facebook page, or most importantly, leave a comment on iTunes saying that yes, we want Judge Jamie back next week. All right. Okay, J-Dog, where do you want to go next, mate? Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to... I want to speak about Tom Hawkins, actually.
Oh, well, I actually have a quick hands for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
Who is the beast of 2020? Is it Dixon or Hawkins?
Great question, and I'm going to roll it into this one here, Peps. Tom Hawkins is the beast of 2020, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why. One, he is got more contested. One contested less mark a game. and that's just because of the way that Geelong play. So he's averaging, I think it's around 4 contested marks, and Charlie is about 5 or maybe 5.5 a game. Pretty good stats. Tom Hawkins, though, has kicked 40-odd goals in 16 games. Now, the biggest difference this year, and I know you and I have had a bit of a laugh at old Tommy, a bit of a laugh, because we've said that he moves like a boat.
He's got the turning circle of the Queen Mary too.
But I'm saying this year, Peps, the 2020 Tom Hawkins.
Yeah.
Plays more agile. He is.
You might want to say that again, mate. You just dropped out. Has your internet got COVID?
I think it. Oh, it has dropped actually.
It has dropped. Like
I've seen it. It's down to 3 out of 10. It's terrible.
That's almost tarps over the seats. Like that's how bad it's got.
Hold on. 2 seconds. You talk for 2 seconds. You just do a dance or something.
I won't dance. Look, I think when I wrote this one, when Jamie put this one to me a little bit earlier on, listeners, I thought, well, I don't know. What are we going to do here? Do we think the Tomahawk's been better? Do you think Dixon's been better? I think Dixon's been more of a match winner, which is, there's probably 16 other clubs out there that would love to have a Charlie Dixon. I think everything from his preseason to now has been sensational. He is a ripped rig and he is a beast. And he's like, come on, fellas, jump on my back. I'll win this for you.
All right.
But when it comes to reliability factor, Hawkins he's been sensational all season. And so I totally agree with you. But would I have either or in my team? I wouldn't be complaining about either having Dicko or Hawko.
Yeah. I would take Tom Hawkins because he's just more involved in the general play.
Newsflash, Jamie wants to trade Dixon for Hawkins. You heard it here on Lace Out.
I'll take current. I'll take current Hawkins form. Yeah, I think Hawkins is 32. Dicko's 29, so he's still got 3 years under him. But I think Tom Hawkins is probably having one of his top 3 seasons he's ever had. Yep, that's how I feel. I think this year I just see him. He's more involved.
He's been brilliant this year.
Yeah,
he's been his best year for a long time, and I think it's conducive to the way Geelong are playing. They're a little bit different, Geelong. They have no hesitation in leaving him in the forward 50.
No,
where a lot of other clubs, mate, they are smart. Can I just bring something up? I had a bit of a chat last night to one of our. He's online right now. Ross Bartlett. I've known the Donk for many, many years. An absolute superstar and passionate Richmond supporter. Mm-hmm. And we were having a bit of a chat last night about forwards, etc. And he made a very, very good point. And I didn't think about this. I don't like the whole thing about starting positions. But he made a very, very good point. He goes, these young forwards come up from the TAC where you have to have a minimum of 2 players in your forward 50, I think, at all times. Mm-hmm. And then they come into the AFL system and there's no rules. You can have 5 against you at once, 4 against you at once. Yep. And it's virtually impossible for them. And I had a bit of a think about this and I thought, well, you know what? If you're a Hawkins or a Dixon, you've actually got the body size to be able to handle that. But these young guys, the King brothers, etc., who we're going to have a chat about a little bit later on, they don't have the capabilities or the body size. Luke Jackson's another one from Melbourne who's going to be going through that as well too. Sam Wiedemann, to a degree, he's stacking on the kilos, and he made a suggestion that if there was a rule to be brought in, should they have those 2 forwards to have that consistency from TAC to. And I think that's one I actually agree with more than the 666. Because it does leave the ground a lot more open for that whole slingshot effect to be going. But then you've got the ability, do you have your fast players, do you have your big players? I think there's a bit more merit to that. I would prefer that to come in than having, the 666, which I don't want to go into again because it's a complete farce. Yeah. But it's a really good comment. And then it would allow those younger forwards to be able to shine a lot more than having just 4 blokes jumping over the top of them.
I mean, no doubt. No doubt it'll definitely turn into a bit of an athlete's game, wouldn't it?
Move on.
Peps, you are like Katy Perry. You are hot and you are cold. You hate the 666, but now you're wanting to start locking players into positions like netball.
No, I just think that there's some merit to it. But you know what? Here's the thing, though, Jamie. I also agree with what Geelong have done. They've gone against the trend, and they're taking a risk by doing it, and it's paying off.
Yeah, so, I don't think.
But see, and that's why I don't think we should have to always change the rules, even though I just said it a moment ago we should. I don't think we always should have to change the rules.
Yeah.
Because do something different.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a different result. And Geelong are doing that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Tom Hawkins has really ventured up anywhere sort of further than sort of 75 metres beyond his goals. Like, he used to take a lot of marks on the wing and up sort of as a kick-out option, like you guys use Max Gawn like.
Yeah.
This year, I haven't seen him sort of go past that sort of edge of the court.
Yep. He dropped out again, mate. Have you paid your bill?
Anywho.
Like, have you actually paid the connection bill?
No, I had. No, I've got to stand on my internet or my light. I'm fighting two things here. Like, I'm literally fighting against technology. I'm the Terminator. I'm John Connor. I'm fighting against my Wi-Fi, and I'm fighting against my freaking sensor light.
Your body's more like Sarah Connor than the Terminator. Let's be frank.
My body's more like nothing. It's not good. Not good. Not good.
Not good. Here, no good. All right. All right. J-Dog, I've got one for you that I have to quickly punch out. We spoke about it a moment ago.
Jesus.
Let's talk about it. Another quick hands. And are you ready for this one?
Okay.
Who, in your eyes, is the king of the castle? Is it Max King or Ben King? Or their other brother, Bon?
Oh, God, you're going to have to remind me who plays for who. St Kilda won. Max.
St Kilda is Max. Ben is...
Max.
I'll take Ben. I'll take Ben. I like Ben.
Yep.
I like Ben. He's just better.
I just think
I wouldn't care about either of them.
I think I've seen more of Max being the target for St Kilda and taking pack marks over his head, where Brisbane have got a couple of players like that already.
You know what? Gold Coast need them more, and they're building, mate. They're building.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not going to be their year this year, but they're building. And if they're able to pick a couple of extras up in the free agency period next year, Rory Atkins is one that's certainly going to be there next year, I reckon.
Yep. And sorry, I meant to say Gold Coast, not Brisbane. Oops.
Well, that's who I reckon will be there. Rory Atkins, you get a fit Matt Rowell back. Jeez, I tell you what. It's exciting time. It is exciting time. Hey, can I quickly bring something up? Something that was released today. One graphic that I really want to bring right now is that tonight or today, the AFL Players 22 under 22 squad was released. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of an interesting one here because there are only two teams that didn't have anybody whatsoever in this mix. Would you like to know who those two teams were?
I'd love to.
Well, one of them is at the bottom of the ladder, being the Adelaide Crows.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was the Melbourne Demons.
Oh.
I'm not too worried because over the last couple of years we have, and I think if Luke Jackson was still playing, I reckon he might be a chance for this as well too. But Gold Coast have absolutely smashed it. They've got 8 players in this, and that's not even including Matt Rowell because he had to play a minimum, I think, of 8 games to be included on this.
Are you going to show your screen to people?
I am showing the screen to people.
Oh, I can't see it.
It's on there.
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
No. Listeners, can anyone see Pep's screen? It'll be a resounding no.
There it is there. Can you see it or not?
No, can't see it.
It's on the screen.
No, can't see it.
It doesn't matter. Well, it's on there anyway. So everybody else can see it. There's some massive names. I didn't realise Jacob Wiedering was still under 22. Someone check his birth certificate. Fremantle have done fantastic. Caleb Sarong. Hey, listeners, put your money on it. He's going to be the one who's going to win the Rising Star this year over Isaac Rankin.
Yeah,
it's going to be huge. There's some, Ben King's on there, Max King's on there. Pal Pepper, he's got a head like a 35-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
Aaron Norton's
got
on
the
there.
more of a 15-year-old though.
Bailey Smith, the best mullet in AFL. Shai Bolton, Jai Simpkin. Even North Melbourne got someone on there. That's disappointing, isn't it? But yeah, some cracking names and some magnificent future there for a lot of clubs as well too. St Kilda represented well. Richmond have got a couple in there. Fremantle have done well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to sort of see where that leads out at the end towards the end of the year. But yeah, the list for the best 22 under 22 squad has been released as well too. What also got released today, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, is the round 18 fixture. So this is the floating fixture where everybody, depending on where they are on the ladder, etc., is going to be playing. Mm-hmm. Look, they're starting off with a bumper game on the Thursday night with North Melbourne and West Coast. I'm tipping they just want to get that one out of the way quickly. A couple of good games here. Melbourne and Essendon getting the prime time 2:10 p.m. slot on Saturday, probably on Foxtel, so no one will watch it. Outside of that, there's not many good games except for the last one. This could be another final spot. Port Adelaide versus Collingwood. Do Collingwood make it? Do Port Adelaide keep their top 2 position? Lots to think about there. Not many games going to be shaping the 8. Probably the other one outside of that will be your 7:50 Friday night game at the Jabba the Hutt. St Kilda versus GWS. That game there could almost decide who plays finals and who doesn't. Depending on what's going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks. But, yeah, a lot of good games. Not much going to be shaping the 8. Probably 3 games at the most. Adelaide, who are Adelaide playing? Geez, Adelaide playing Richmond. Danger game for the Tigers. Hawks versus Gold Coast. Who's going to finish on a high? Can Sydney do something against Geelong? Dockers versus Dogs. Look, I think it's going to be, the results are virtually going to speak for themselves for this game. But look, it's out there. Have a bit of a look where your team's playing. It's either going to be on KO, Fox Channel, or Channel 7. Regardless of that, it's round 18. It could be the last time that you want to watch your team for the year. In my case, thank goodness.
Don't be
where do we go to? I'm just being honest, mate. I'm just being honest. All right, mate. Where do we go to from here?
Let's talk. Let's get to Melbourne. Let's talk about because it's been a big week for you, Peps. You had two games to really just go through for you,
mate.
So I'm just going to leave it to you. I'm going to ask questions along the way, and sorry, let's go back all the way back to Sydney when Sydney were horrendously undermanned. Like we're talking the Collingwood Melbourne game on the line style again. Like Sydney have got no one playing for them. Mate. And you had everything to play for. You win it, and you're almost definitely in. Like it's an 8-game turnaround, as we always say, like an 8-point turn, like a 12-point turnaround. It's an 8-point turnaround.
Well, everybody's been hanging for this, and they've been hanging for what?
You didn't even do a video that night. You said you went for a walk. You said I hate the club. I'm almost done, but you had a sip of your bourbon and you didn't do anything. People want to know how you're feeling after the Sydney game. So, Peps, please share.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, listeners, for taking time out of your busy day or evening to have a listen to what I have to say right now. Jamie, when your team goes in and plays Sydney's reserves team on a Thursday night, and you've virtually got a full team in, knowing that you have to win this game to play finals, you know that if you win this, you are virtually 1 foot in the final. Like you've got that rung locked off. 17 teams knew that Melbourne were a big show for this. There was only one team whose supporters knew going into it that we will lose this. And that was every Melbourne supporter going and listening to this. And every Melbourne supporter who has followed this club for many, many years. We knew walking into this game that we would get beaten. It's as simple as that. Because that's the Melbourne thing to do. We are untrustworthy. I would prefer Rene Rivkin to coach the Melbourne Football Club. Because, yes, he was a shonk, but he was a legit shonk. Melbourne are just putrid. They were shocking. I watched, I reckon, about a quarter and a half of that game and had to turn it off because I knew we were not a chance in hell of winning that one. We also got beaten at the selection table. When you bring in players like Oscar McDonald and you don't drop Nathan Jones, who was playing on one leg, we lost it at the selection table before that game was even played.
I think you said back at round 6 that Oscar McDonald's better than Tom McDonald.
Have you seen Tom McDonald's year? Ronald McDonald was better than those two blokes.
But you said you were happy to have Omac in.
Donald McDonald would get a game before those ones. Oh, jeez. Nah, they were shocking, mate. They were shocking. And I did release a video. People were expecting me to rant, but I'm like, no, we expected this. This is Melbourne. This is what we do. We do this to our supporters day in, day out, week after week, month after month. We are the Forrest Gump football team. You just do not know what you're going to get. But I can tell you what you're going to get. When your favourites to win a game, back the other team. Put your house on it because Melbourne will choke. Okay?
But you got to admit, though, you were still into it up into the fourth quarter.
Mate, we were not into that game at all. Don't give me we were into it. We were not into it.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Jaden Hunt
annoys
was
me
kicking out from fullback like a pro.
Who? He didn't
Jaden
play.
Hunt.
No, he didn't play that day, mate. He didn't take.
Oh, wasn't that day?
London, what solidified just how?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How frustrating this club is. If you can have a chance, watch the highlights of the game, and just watch Ed Langdon kick out a fullback and hit a Sydney player lace out because that's how they like their football. There was not one Melbourne player in a 20-metre radius of him. I don't know what he did, but that's just the care factor that this club shows week in, week out. It's disgusting. And then we think, okay, well, that was just a hiccup. We've got Fremantle this week, who, let's just say, they've been playing some pretty good football over the last month. But once again, we've been sucked into the hype. This is Melbourne. This is a team that played in a preliminary final only 2 years ago. Well, can I tell you something about that statistic, listeners? Since that preliminary final, Melbourne have won 12 games from 37 attempts. That's a 30% win ratio. No one keeps their job after that. Yet, our stupid board went ahead and decided to sign Goodwin up for another couple of years and extend his contract out. Don't we look like idiots again?
I love the fact now, because of COVID, you literally cannot financially even afford to fire him.
No, we can afford to fire him, and we should fire him. You know what even topped it off? This was the one that topped it off, and we even spoke about this, right? This is the one that topped it off, right? This is the icing. The cherry's coming later. You look into the coach's box of Sydney, and you had at one stage, I could see this. You had John Longmire going absolutely berserk at Dean Cox, one of the greatest ruckmen ever to play the game, and sit next to him was Steve Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
We went over to the Melbourne box. Goody and Richo are sitting there looking at each other going, you want Nando's for tea, or should we just go to the kebab joint Stack and so forth went to? With Justin Plapp and Troy Chaplin in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken about this for so long. We are a mediocre team because we are led by mediocre people. We are irrelevant on the field because we're being coached by irrelevant people. Does Justin Plapp scare you?
Justin
Troy
Plapp.
Chaplin shed shivers down your spine? Goodness gracious me!
Yeah, but Goody is one of the real coaches because he goes down and he
I don't care.
He sits with them in the trenches.
I don't care, mate. I don't want tough love. I just want toughness on the field.
Yeah. Well, I must say, I love the fact your kid is undermining your segment right now. That kind of makes me laugh.
Just go and play on a freeway, son. All right. So they turn up this week against Fremantle. They're kicking with They are kicking with Cyclone Tracy Mark II. They couldn't even kick a goal with the biggest win. Oh, sorry, I'll rephrase that. That was the week before against Sydney.
Yeah.
This week, it all blends in, mate. This week, they couldn't kick with the wind. Wet, if anyone's played wet weather football, put your hand up or leave a note in the chat if you've played wet weather football. Wet weather football is a contested football game. Throw the game plan out, you kick it forward, and you just...
Hey. He did throw the game plan out.
Shut up. He didn't have a game.
He did. He put Bailey Fritsch behind the ball. I mean, that's an inspired move.
I understand that. When they were kicking with a hurricane, you want someone down there as a set. I agreed with that, right? It was wet weather football We were beaten in uncontested possessions by 96 possessions. 96 possessions in a wet weather game, beaten in uncontested football.
And I think your contested was like 20 or 40, what? Something like that crazy, isn't it?
We smashed them in contested footy, but we just let them run away with it. They were playing dry football. Oh, we tried to play cute football in a very unattractive game. Oh, it's just... Oh, Jesus.
I do, although, come on, like, how good are your goalless quarters? They're
The goalless quarters, you want to get on goalless quarters. Our goalless quarters, I reckon we've had about 7 of them for the year. 7 of them in, 16 rounds? That's not a bad strike rate. That's almost 50%. We are able to not score goals. It just gets worse though, Jamie. When the Melbourne supporters out there want Dan Andrews as the Melbourne coach because at least he can lock down a game when the pressure hits, you know your club is in trouble.
The statistic, Goodwin has coached you to more finals than your last 3 coaches. So he's got to stay. Like he's got the money on the board.
Jamie.
He has. Paul Roos didn't get you guys to a final.
Jamie.
Mark Neal didn't get you guys to a final.
Mark Neal didn't get us anywhere. Right?
Statistically, he's your most successful coach in over a decade.
Stats mean crap. 63.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Okay? All right? And I've just had a question come in, and I'm going to swing back to me, but which coach in 2021 is under the most pressure? Cameron, Goodwin, or Teague? Well, first of all, it won't be Teague because his Blues are actually playing some okay football. They just
can't win.
They just can't win. But I think what's their percentage sitting at the moment? That's what I always like to look at. I always look at a team's percentage. That gives you a bit of an indication of how they're going. They're at 96.2, so that's not too bad. So they're scoring, they're getting a little bit outscored. So it's not too bad, right? It's not as bad as the 50% I think Melbourne were the year that before Roos. Let's forget it.
Was that 2014, wasn't it?
So anyway, Leon Cameron, he's not under pressure because he just got a 2-year extension. So we'll worry him for 2022. Goodwin won't be there next year. Do you know the other coach that's in trouble?
Who?
It's Rutten, and he's not even their coach. It's just stupid the way it's going.
It's
no. So then they turn up against Fremantle, and they just ran all over the top of us. It was disgusting, mate. I watched a quarter of that and turned it off. And everybody knows my dad, Big Trev, right? We've spoken about him. We've been going for almost 3 seasons now. Big Trev loves the D's. He doesn't even watch them anymore because they're just that bad. I love listening to what's going wrong. And I think Tim Watson said it really well this morning on SEN. He said he's had this team for 4 years. Okay? This has been his team for 4 years.
Yeah.
The game plan and the print or the fingerprint, what the team represents is all on Simon Goodwin, no one else. And he's failed dismally. And the club in itself, you know what they did? This is how stupid our club is, right? And I'll get off them because it's at least our AFL podcast, not the Melbourne podcast. This is how bad we are. We did a review last year.
Yeah.
An internal review.
Yeah.
So we decided how bad we were.
Yeah.
And decided we weren't that bad. That just shows how freaking blue-blooded, stuck in the Norm Smith era we are. 1964.
Well, I mean, I think having the docu-series called To Hell and Back was really a good move for the club.
Mate, they were accurate. They were 100% accurate. We went to hell and we've gone back there again. So they did everything right. Look, this is an unprecedented year. And I've said, whoever wins a premiership this year, there'll be no asterisk next to it. It has been an absolute challenge from day dot.
Yeah.
But I've played in bad teams, mate. You know bad teams. You played in an era where there were tarps instead of supporters, right? The listeners out there, they know bad football. It doesn't matter how bad your skills are. Having a crack,
yeah,
tackling, talking, running. They're fundamentals of the game, which anybody can do.
Yeah.
And my team don't show that. They are the biggest bunch of individuals, but unfortunately, we blow too much smoke up their asses every single season. They believe their own hype. We need someone in there to crack some skulls and break some hearts. I would even take Ross Lyon.
Can you imagine your team without Stephen May, Petrarca, Oliver, and Gawn? Can you imagine just one of those players not being in that team? Oh God,
Jamie, please, mate, don't. All right, all right. Every team's got them. It's just really heartbreaking. We know I'm never going to abandon the team. I'm never going to.
Joel's got a good suggestion.
What's he say? Choco? He's been out of the game too long.
He'd be good for you guys.
I reckon he'd be good he was. They should have brought him on as assistant coach.
No, you got Richo. He's Richo.
Oh fuck! Hasn't that worked?
He's been part of leading teams.
This just sums it up. Joel Michael, we've been having a bit of a chat. This sums it up. He loves himself so much that he's even come out with a bit of, I could have coached that gifted list to a final the year after Bruce. You brought a very good comment up a few weeks ago talking about Brendan McCartney. I reckon him leaving the club has been, I didn't think about it at the time. I think that's been a bigger travesty. And that just goes to show that we just don't know how to make the right decisions.
Yeah, and as Thomas Wayne said in the chat,
the board need to sack Goodwin, and they need to pay it out of their own pockets because they were the ones who put him back on without going through the CEO at the time.
Well, what's Josh Marnie's role in all this, though, Peps?
He needs to go as well.
Okay.
And you know what? I want Barmy.
You want to get him?
I want Fred Cook, the cookie from Geelong. I want him.
Yep.
I just want some tough nuts running the mob.
Okay. All right.
I want Luke Hodge as a assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
I want Michael Voss in there as well too to crack some skulls as well.
You can have him.
I'll take him. He's getting your team to finals this year. All right. I'll even take Brad Scott.
Wow.
Okay. I want players that are going to be, I want to see some prick in these players.
You could have Reece Shaw if you want.
I'm not that desperate. I'm not that desperate. Okay. I want some people with the runs on the board, mate. Successful club have successful people running it with successful coaches, and like I said, the players play like their coach. They like pretty boys.
Oh dear. All right. So in terms of our show, we're a little bit over tonight. So I do apologise to people who are getting kids to bed and want to get themselves to bed because a big day. Officers, they're going to walk to their office. They're going to walk their office just down into the hall. What are you reading there?
Oh, I'm just reading some rumours and innuendos. Someone's saying that Carlton and Melbourne should merge. That's coming from a St Kilda supporter. Go rattle some more tins. You've had one good season in, 20 years. You're not even going to make the 8, mate.
No, Thomas is a Carlton man.
Oh,
and
it's a different one, is it?
He even asked has in the chat there, has Melbourne given some players to Carlton because they keep losing?
No, you've got Petreski Seaton and Paddy Dow. You've got your own lot there, mate. We don't want any of them. All right, geez. I'll tell you what, it's been packed. Hey, can I just let everybody know that some big news coming up about Lace Out? It's massive. Now, we've had a massive episode, but the biggest episode to probably hit is occurring in 2 weeks' time. Because in 2 weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen, Lace Out, the podcast you love, is having its milestone 100th episode. 100th episode. So we're going to be having something special for that. It's going to be a bit of a reflection. We're still going to talk about the great game because it'll be after the last round of football. So it'll be leading into the finals. It'll be the week off. So it's probably the good time to celebrate the number one podcast that you people love every single week
Time
around
out.
the world. It's been massive, but someone has asked, is Beacon Lighting going to sponsor the show for Jamie?
Joel Michael, do you actually work for Beacon Lighting? Because I actually bought them from Beacon Lighting.
For the people listening to this podcast, Jamie's got sensor lighting in his house, and his lighting is flashing on and off. It's probably flashing more than what Sydney Stack and Callum Jones.
Well, this should be a promo because they're working 100% perfectly. They're just going off every 3 minutes.
Okay, well, hey, listen. So 2 weeks' time, our 100th episode. So I want everybody to be involved. I want everybody to have a listen. Send in your thoughts, send in your messages because it's a massive milestone. I didn't think I'd get to 2 episodes because my wife would just tell me off for taking up so much time. But, with me and the J-Dog here, we do it every single week. So, yeah, it's going to be huge. But it's a massive week of football. We've got 2 rounds left. It's going to be huge, mate. It's almost time to finish this one off. And I think the only way that, like I said, I've got to thank everybody, all the listeners for tuning in tonight. Everybody love them. What I want to finish off with is the Melbourne Football Club have released, if you haven't heard, they've released a brand new revision, a brand new review, a brand new release of their theme song. And I think it's perfect that we take this song out for the end of the episode. So to all the listeners, thank you very much. Leave a review on iTunes. Hey, spread the word out to all your friends and family how good we are because we are awesome. You tune in every single week. The people on the chat, you've been amazing tonight. Jamie, what would you like to finish off with? Because I know it's Lace Out. And Lace Out's what?
The best podcast in the West.
And it's how he wants his football, people. It's how you want your football. So have a great week. And without further ado, I'm going to take you out with the brand new re-released Melbourne Football Club theme song for the last 2 rounds of the season. Have a great week, fellas.
See you later, listeners.
See you later, listeners. Go Tees.
They're so tragic.
They're woeful, aren't they?